Hi, Warren Buffett. What are your top tips for successful investing?
Rule number 1. Never lose money. Rule number 2. Never forget rule number 1. Price is what you pay. Value is what you get. Be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. You never know who's swimming naked until the tide goes out. Risk comes from not knowing what you're doing. An investor should act as though he had a lifetime decision card with just 20 punches on it. Buy a stock the way you would buy a house. Understand and like it such that you'd be content to own it in the absence of any market. If you aren't willing to own a stock for 10 years, don't even think about owning it for 10 minutes. I try to invest in businesses that are so wonderful that an idiot can run them. Because sooner or later, one will. In the long run, managements stressing accounting appearance over economic substance usually achieve little of either. I won't close down a business of subnormal profitability merely to add a fraction of a point to our corporate returns. I also feel it inappropriate for even an exceptionally profitable company to fund an operation once it appears to have unending losses in prospect. Adam Smith would disagree with my first proposition, and Karl Marx would disagree with my second. The middle ground is the only position that leaves me comfortable. Calling someone who trades actively in the market an investor is like calling someone who repeatedly engages in one-night stands a romantic. If past history was all that is needed to play the game of money, the richest people would be librarians. Derivatives are financial weapons of mass destruction. Derivatives are like sex. It's not who we're sleeping with, it's who they're sleeping with. That's the problem. When you combine ignorance and leverage, you get some pretty interesting results. When a person with money meets a person with experience, the one with experience ends up with the money, and the one with money leaves with experience.
How do I cultivate patience and a long-term mindset?
The stock market is a device for transferring money from the impatient to the patient. Our favorite holding period is forever. What the wise do in the beginning, fools do in the end. Someone sitting in the shade today because someone planted a tree a long time ago. I insist on a lot of time being spent, almost every day, to just sit and think. That is very uncommon in American business. I read and think, so I do more reading and thinking, and make less impulse decisions than most people in business. I do it because I like this kind of life. It takes 20 years to build a reputation, and 5 minutes to ruin it. If you think about that, you'll do things differently. You do things when the opportunities come along. I've had periods in my life when I've had a bundle of ideas come along, and I've had long dry spells. If I get an idea next week, I'll do something. If not, I won't do a damn thing. Games are won by players who focus on the playing field, not by those whose eyes are glued to the scoreboard. If you buy things you do not need, soon you will have to sell things you need. It is madness to risk losing what you need in pursuing what you simply desire.
What should I consider when making my career choice?
Do what you love and work for whom you admire the most, and you've given yourself the best chance in life you can. There comes a time when you ought to start doing what you want. Take a job that you love. You will jump out of bed in the morning. I think you are out of your mind if you keep taking jobs that you don't like because you think it will look good on your resume. Isn't that a little like saving up sex for your old age? In the world of business, the people who are most successful are those who are doing what they love. Never depend on a single income. Make investments to create a second source.
What kind of people should I develop relationships with?
It's better to hang out with people better than you. Pick out associates whose behavior is better than yours, and you'll drift in that direction. I learned to go into business only with people whom I like, trust, and admire. Somebody once said that when looking for people to hire, you look for three qualities: integrity, intelligence, and energy. And if you don't have the first, the other two will kill you. You think about it, it's true. If you hire somebody without integrity, you really want them to be dumb and lazy. Honesty is a very expensive gift. Don't expect it from cheap people. Culture, more than rule books, determines how an organization behaves. Having first-rate people on the team is more important than designing hierarchies and clarifying who reports to whom. If each of us hires people who are smaller than we are, we shall become a company of dwarfs. But if each of us hires people who are bigger than we are, we shall become a company of giants.
How can I achieve success in life?
You only have to do very few things right in your life, so long as you don't do too many things wrong. The difference between successful people and really successful people is that really successful people say no to almost everything. Intensity is the price of excellence. Reading could be the best addiction one could have. The only proven side effect is imagination and an edge in knowledge. Read 500 pages like this every day. That's how knowledge works. It builds up like compound interest. All of you can do it, but I guarantee not many of you will do it. Get something to improve yourself by at least 1% each day. It's good to learn from your mistakes. It's better to learn from other people's mistakes. A public opinion poll is no substitute for thought. What the human being is best at doing is interpreting all new information so that their prior conclusions remain intact. There seems to be some perverse human characteristic that likes to make easy things difficult. I don't look to jump over 7-foot bars. I look around for 1-foot bars that I can step over. An idiot with a plan can beat a genius without a plan. The most important thing to do if you find yourself in a hole is to stop digging. Should you find yourself in a chronically leaking boat, energy devoted to changing vessels is likely to be more productive than energy devoted to patching leaks.